Hey guys. Hi, Ellie. Ellie says, "You're amazing. You're perfect. Don't change for anyone but yourself." Thank you for that, Ellie. um, I appreciate that hearing. I appreciate hearing that. Today we're going to have a conversation. Give me a second, guys. With our friend, the percolated fish, Adam. And I don't know what we're going to talk about. We're going to see. We always end up going in different, strange, weird, unusual, but very fun directions. So we're going to see. Ellie, how are you? I hope you're still not in pain, my friend. Hey, Darren. Darren says, "Hey, Yogi. What's new with you, Darren?" Getting a little bit of work done as we're sitting around making conversation. What's up, Adam? I was just talking about you and what we might be talking about. And as I said, I have no idea. Don't need to know. In my recent conversations with people coming up, um, I have decided to, by the way, I booked my first guest for next week. I got to check in with Sniper and see if Wednesday evenings is still good with him instead of Tuesdays. He switched for me last week, and he had mentioned that Wednesdays might be better for him. It's a nice midweek thing to look forward to as well. Um, so we'll see. But I have a course student who's been practicing the course since 1999. Give me some guess. Oh, it says I'm not sure how long I will be on for. I'm bawling my eyes out in pain. Oh well, I'm sorry. Hey, Percy, Ellie. Hey, Becca. Becca says, "Hey, Ellie. Good to see you. Lovely. Just watched your green haired short. Oh, cool. There's such wild looking birds. I wish I could have caught it. They will um, extend their neck. They're all hunched in, and then all of a sudden they extend their neck, and it's amazing. Love seeing them. All right, let me bring it up. Hey, Adam, whenever you want to come up. Hey, Lee. So my guest on Tuesday, as I was saying, he's been a practitioner of A Course in Miracles since 1999. The Rational Man Show, Rational Man Ricky, is his name. He's got a YouTube channel. I can't drop the link, but the YouTube channel is called The Rational Man Show. I don't think he's done much on it. Oh, hey, I sent you the link in Messenger. The three dots should definitely be there, but if you can't find them, just click on the link in Messenger that I sent you. Madam says, there he is. Never seen one before. Very pretty. They are amazing.
Found the link in Messenger.
Oh, cool. We're talking green herons. You ever seen one?
Green?
Yep.
I'm not sure. There's herrings here, but I'm not sure if I've seen a green one.
Green herons are on the smaller side, and they hunch their head between their shoulders. And then when they start to stalk, they extend their neck, and it just keeps going and going and going and going. I posted one on my YouTube short.
I saw that.
Absolutely amazing. And
yeah.
I spent a wonderful morning stalking beavers. I got within less than 2 feet of one.
2 feet from a beaver? Wow.
We just sat there. He was chewing away, and when he noticed me, that tail slapped the water, and I jumped about 6 feet in the air. You ever heard a beaver do that?
Snap a tree?
No, slap their tail against the water when they get startled.
Oh, I don't think I have.
Scary.
There's no beavers here.
No,
but well, not that I know of. Well, not around here. I'm sure there's creeks feeding the. I'm sure we have beavers. I just never see them.
Sure.
But yeah, no, I've never heard a beaver slap its tail. Cool.
Yeah, they do it when they're threatened, so they make it as loud and as threatening as possible, and it works. It works.
You jumped. Nice. Hey, am I coming in relatively clear?
You're coming in perfect today.
Okay. My song, I went back and wanted to listen to me singing, and I was awful. My connection was awful. It's good to be humbled sometimes.
I agree.
It would catch me in the weirdest positions, you know. Like you, Yogi, I don't freeze in good positions.
You know what? Oh,
I don't freeze in good positions.
I sure don't.
Yes, I'm that narcissistic that I wanted to go back and listen to myself sing. No, I was wondering if I was, yeah, I was wondering if I was hitting notes right. I'll probably have to move midway through the talk, and I think we'll still have a good connection, but please let me know.
I will. He says, "I love the beard, Adam."
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Should I give Lou his secret? You made it yourself.
I did. I did. I wove it out of pine cones.
That's not a store-bought beard. That's a homegrown. You know.
It is. It is.
People might look at that and think, "Man, that's pretty fancy. That's got to be store-bought. He had to get that somewhere." But nope, Adam grew it himself.
If the leaf blower gets loud, please let me know. Actually,
sure.
You know what? I'll be right back.
Okay. Let's see. Thanks for that compliment there, Marlon. Yeah, beavers, beavers are hardworking, but they also look like they're very intentfully joyous in what they do. Very few things in life make me as happy as seeing a beaver beavering around in my little pond. They just seem like they get such joy in being beavers. Imagine if we all felt that. When was last time that hey lady Sky, that we felt joy in just being Yogi, just being Adam, just being Ellie, just being Lee? You know?
Hello.
Hey, so what do you think about that? Hey, Miss Pepper, I
About
was talking about Lee was saying that beavers seem like they're such hard workers, and of course they are. Um, but I was saying nothing brings me so much joy as seeing a beaver just beavering around in the pond. They're so content being beavers. And imagine if we all felt that same contentment going through life completely at ease and joyful doing what we do, being who we are in the body of Adam, in the body of Yoga, in the body of Yogi, in the body of Lee.
I guess I see that most. I can't think of an animal I don't see it in.
Right.
I mean,
I
beavers
just
seem like squirrels, just really slowed down.
I was talking to Kat about squirrels. Very often I'm asked about, wildlife filming,
Yeah,
and there's always something. And in lieu of, if you can't find anything like unusual, film a squirrel because they're always going to do something amazing. You never know what they're going to do. Squirrels don't
true.
even know what they're going to do.
Yeah,
And you ever notice every pose in a squirrel is a superhero pose? Like they're just about ready to start fighting crime.
they do look strong. And
They do.
when they stop, it's always like impending danger or something.
Right.
Something's happening.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Something's going to happen, and I'm here to save you.
Yeah.
It's like they're in that position saying, "Don't worry, a squirrel is here."
Oh, look. Actually, if people start talking about how smart they are, I always ask them, "Are you as smart as a squirrel?" And they look at me, and I'm like, "Well, if I drop you in some random woods somewhere, are you going to survive?"
It's
Because
true.
squirrels and Siamese cats. Supposedly, Siamese cats are survivors.
Are they?
Only domesticated animal that most likely will survive getting dropped off in the middle of nowhere. So,
Huh? I didn't know that. Our friend Miss Bipper's here. Hey, Miss Bipper.
hello, Miss Blipper.
Hey, Norman Price. Miss Bipper will be up tomorrow talking all things Course in Miracles. Um,
No,
always fun. Always look forward to Mondays. Always look forward to Sundays with you.
thank you. I look
Um,
forward to it as well, and everybody here.
going back to being joyful in our bodies. Um, you know, beavers just they look so at home in their home. Um, it was only man, it took a long time meditating and practicing A Course in Miracles when I even began getting even an inkling of feeling comfortable being me. It's a horrible way to go through life, being uncomfortable, being yourself, being who you are.
I'm not there
I
yet.
no,
Well, I'm fine being me, and I'm fine with this body. But every day I wake up, it's like I'm on fire, Ricky Bobby, or something. It's I don't wake up to a comfortable body. These shoulders, ever since I broke my collarbone,
oh wow,
and I already had bad shoulders, and it's just not a pleasant thing, really. I got to move around a little bit, and but
that's
besides,
the way I am a bit with my back.
mm,
Once I'm done my early morning yoga, I'm usually okay. When I'm done my workout, I'm feeling right on point. Um, but getting out of bed at 60 is not the same as getting out of bed at 50 or 40 or 30.
no,
Getting out of bed
no,
at 21, I was ready to take on the entire world, even with the hangover.
yeah.
Um,
I don't know if it's a throwback from all the crazy stuff I did as a kid or what, but yeah, pains show up in older age.
yeah, they do. They do.
So
Namaskar, Maharashtrian.
I
Um,
think I heard somebody you were interviewing talking about pain is a pain pain's there so that we can accept it, or life is a gradual acceptance of pain. pain of loss, pain of physical pain, pain of it's just it's a teacher.
It is for sure. Um, and now, of course, miracles say is the ultimate lesson is that we are not our bodies.
I can forget my body pretty well. I think I always have been able to.
I'm not. I'm not 100% sure that we actually need to. I think we just need to be aware that we are not. Ultimately, we are not our bodies. That we are the awareness, the ever-present, loving kindness awareness that is witness to the body. The body's a great learning vehicle. It's how we learn how to love. It's
I
how we
agree.
learn. Yeah, it's how we learn to share. It's how we learn to let go of the things of the material world. Um, but it's always best to honor it the best that we can.
I agree in principle. That sounds like a great philosophy.
Right. Kat says, I think a little nudge in the right direction is not calling it pain, but calling it discomfort.
A little nudge in the right direction. Oh, like maybe working out or something. Like a like a little bit of soreness or
I think she's reframing our language to give us a different reality to it.
maybe I'm blind to it. I I guess I have nudges. Mostly it's like I wake up and go, not this again. Holy crap.
I, I've been there during the worst periods of my experiencing depression. Digital, I'm on the east coast of the U.S. The worst part of my depression, it was like that every day. This again, the world again, life again, same me
Yeah.
again, same person staring at me in the mirror. That's when I suffered through depression. Um, as I mentioned to people now, depression is still present, but I don't really suffer through depression. I experience depression, and the difference is amazing.
Yeah.
Um, but keep a loving heart, a light heart throughout the whole thing, you know?
Yeah.
But when we suffer, man, we're in the depth. We're in the depth of it. I
I
know
have
you've been
quite a
here,
bit of experience with the suffrage.
right?
And
How's that?
it's all mental crap, man. I mean, it really is. I mean, the mind can fuel it or the mind can just let go of it. Or really you need to let go of your mind attached to the, you know. And I mean, that's not just depression. I mean, that's anger, that's anything. I mean, when we get
Yeah,
angry, we start telling these stories. And God, if they start running in circles, you know, you're
right.
hooked.
Buddha said that you are not punished for your anger. Anger is the punishment because you suffer all the consequences of your experience. Anger, no one ever feels good during the heat of anger. Now, afterwards, Mahatma Gandhi used his anger and channeled it in the right direction and became the Mahatma. Um,
Mm.
but when we're lashing out in anger, we're experiencing high blood pressure, hypertension, heart races. Uh, it's nothing physical feels good about anger. That's the punishment itself. Instant karma.
That
Hey,
Buddha fellow was pretty smart.
he was. Wouldn't mind hanging out. Wouldn't mind getting him up for a conversation someday.
Wow. I think you might. You got some really cool people coming up,
Uh,
man. Um, Anger's an outward thing. It's like we blow our top and we want to release it on somebody, something, or we want to project it out. But all we're doing is projecting our garbage out, and then it'll come back and smack us in the face. It could be minutes or days or years later. I've had to pay the price of my actions a couple of years later for anger outbursts.
well, we have
Yeah.
two things. One on anger. One Lee says, Adam, you remind me of Lieutenant Dan when he joined Forrest on the shrimp boat.
Well, thank you. I really like. God, I forget the name actor. I forget his name, but I
Gary Sinise.
yes, or Sinise, whatever. Yeah,
One
Gary.
of those.
Good old Gary.
And Miss Pepper wondered, are anger and depression defenses? You think anger was protecting you in a way?
I mean, I guess maybe I don't know. I think they're more of a result of defenses. I think they're a byproduct,
Interesting.
but maybe they are. I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna Pat's favorite line. I don't know.
That's my favorite line. Is just to shrug. Could be. Manabu says she doesn't like getting angry. Makes me poorly. It does, and that's again what the Buddha was saying, that we're punished. Anger is the punishment.
It is.
So is jealousy. Any of those emotions that we experience, anger, jealousy, pettiness. We never feel good when we are experiencing them. What we don't realize is we have a choice.
I think beyond that, I think anger brings further suffering. Anger never fixes anything. If I'm angry working on my car, welcome to breaking something or busting my knuckles. Or if we think we can get away with anger, we're deluding ourselves. I mean, it's a bad feeling, but there's something else coming later.
Right.
It's going to say, hey, you were mad. You weren't thinking properly. I went to jail over anger 2 years later or 3 years later.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I was very mad that my son didn't make the high school baseball team. It was ridiculous. But my ex-wife had issues with the school and whatever. So I kind of made a jerk of myself, cussing and throwing things at the school. Nobody was there, but there was a camera. And I'm friends with the superintendent. But so the SRO filed a report, which never somehow it managed to find its way back into. So I got pulled over for a ticket and I had a warrant out and I didn't even know it.
Wow.
Now I am a different person now. I don't go throwing garbage at school doors and cussing coaches and whatnot. But anyway.
Hey, so would you think that anger was an issue in your life at one time? Would you call it an issue?
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. I was not a person to rile.
So like a presence.
Like a what?
Like a presence. And like anger was a presence in your life. Like you ever see the first, was it one of the Marvel Avengers movies when Bruce Banner is going to fight the giant alien thing and he's still in Bruce Banner body and someone says, don't you think you should get angry? And he starts walking towards it and he looks back and he goes, that's the secret. I'm always angry.
Yeah. At one time I was always angry. Have I ever told you the story of cussing God?
No, but before you tell us that, it's funny because Miss Bipper said, I don't think either one of you would want an angry God. So
good luck getting God angry. In fact, maybe if you get angry at God, maybe he'll, or maybe the Holy Spirit will say, finally send you the light of comfort or something of the nature. But it was years ago. I mean, I don't even know how many. I try not to keep score on anything, but a couple of times there would be severe lightning storms, and they're around a lot of trees. I know how to get struck by lightning if you're going to. I mean, don't hug a pine tree in a lightning storm. Good
Good,
advice.
good advice.
But so these a couple of times I walked around in severe lightning storms, just dog cussing God. I mean, cussing what I believed was God. Um, Probably worse than any person I've ever cursed. You know, and also demanding that I be struck. And and that was right before my turning point.
Um, so I definitely want to talk about that. Two things. What so what were you what was that anger about? Why? Why did you
Well,
carry it with you?
oh, all the horrible injustices life put upon me. That's kind of a joke.
Right.
But I mean, I was happily married. I almost had a really nice house paid off. I had 5 years left to go on my mortgage. Um, I was a careful younger person, financially. Um, you know, I went from life is great and what I thought was great and to basically being homeless. So I was pretty pissed off about it.
I can see that.
And
Be- Before we get to your before we get to your turning point, Lee wants to know, Adam, what's your favorite thing to do? Music, books, walking, art, hanging out with Yogi?
hanging out with Yogi,
Oh,
hanging
that's
out with
nice to
Yogi.
hear.
Um, I love music. Um, Sometimes I like to. I don't know. I'm not really driven to do art much anymore. I like. Sometimes I like doing stonemasonry. Unfortunately, I don't do stonemasonry unless I'm enjoying it, so I get very little done sometimes. So, but thank goodness that I mostly do stonework for someone who's very understanding of that and would prefer that I enjoy my work and do a good job than I don't know, you know, feel
Right.
forced to do it.
Um, so what was the turning point away from anger?
Um, well, I had a one of my closest friends um, started questioning remaining here on planet Earth. Is that cool to say?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, and I made a pact that, hey, I don't want to take somebody's that decision away from anybody. I think it was oh man, but never mind. But it's always a good option. I mean, if bombs are going off, you haven't eaten in 3 months, there's nothing but suffering around. Hey.
Were you going to mention Camus, Myth of Sisyphus, where he actually says, in the absurdity of life, the only logical thing.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, yeah. And that was also quoted by the director who died recently.
Lynch, David Lynch.
I think David Lynch said that. And if it wasn't David Lynch, it was oh Naked Lunch guy.
Burroughs,
Yeah, maybe it
William
was
Burroughs.
Burroughs. Somebody like that.
Right.
But yeah. Oh, but back on point. So and then I started studying Maslow's theory of hierarchy because in my dusty cobweb mind, I remember that Maslow was the only positive psychologist that I had come across. I mean, he really was. Everybody else is trying to shock monkeys or find crazy people, or Jung's a little bit attached to the supernatural. So, but I found this, I found this website, actualize.org, which Leo, and I would sit there and watch Leo talk about this, and I think he studied this psychology, but the guy took a large quantity of mushrooms and got online and was, tripping and saying, "I am God," and I just had to quit watching Leo. It was just too weird.
Um, I want to get back to Maslow in a second.
Okay,
Lee wants to know where are you from? You're not from Tennessee.
I was born in Huntsville, Alabama,
Um,
Rocket City.
you know, many people consider Maslow the father of positive psychology, and he even got more so. He was actually revising the hierarchy of needs before he passed away, and it was based upon principles he learned living with and studying the Blackfeet Indians, Native Americans. That it was about community sharing, and that we don't have to wait to get the bottom needs met to start actualizing. We can start actualizing wherever we are. You could be homeless in an alley uh, and be just as aware and as actualized as someone who is attending the finest university. In fact, he might have a better opportunity to self actualize being
Well,
homeless.
you will, most likely.
Right.
I mean, how easy is it to get attached? You were talking about that with your loss, which I found very good talk
Yeah.
about,
Thanks.
your father and, but yeah, I mean, we get attached to things. But, sometimes we feel justified in being attached. I'm justified in being attached to the dog I just lost. It was really my
Sure.
soulmate. I mean, I was not closer to any creature on the planet than I was that dog. And I know that sounds weird,
No,
but
not
there
at
it
all.
is.
Not at all. Not here,
Um,
it doesn't.
yeah, cool. But you got a good job, you got a nice house, you got car, and then you might even tell yourself, I'm not really attached. I'm altruistic in a sense that I give money away. Is how I usually have heard the word used. But anyway, um, but yeah, until it's gone, you don't really know. I mean, until you're having to walk to work, live in a crappy, or not live in a place at all. Live in your car. I've never been homeless enough that I didn't at least have a car to live in. I feel very sorry for the homeless who don't have a car.
Right.
I've never gone that low. But yeah, until you really lose these things, you don't really know if you're attached.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Uh,
You know what? You want to know the big thing that I was attached to? I didn't even realize it until I lost it.
yeah.
Was my role as a caregiver.
Yeah. That
I
touched
was
me deeply.
mourning my dad, and I suddenly realized that how attached I was, not just to my dad, as any relationship, you're gonna mourn when you lose it. But I realized no longer a caregiver. I have no one in that role, no one in that position. That after more than a decade of being a caregiver for my mom, and then with my dad, um, I felt bereft of an actual purpose. Um, so I was mourning my dad and mourning the loss of an identity. Um, and that's when, after meditation, when I was thinking, what should I do? I just got this silent intuition. Um, Caregiver's not a role. It's who you are. Loving kindness itself. And now instead of having it focused on one particular person, open up to the world, care about everyone without exception.
I'm having problems with that, Yogi. I mean, I can relate deeply, but I'm still having problems with that. Um, Sophie was blind, and I adjusted my life to kind of suit her needs. I'd say that, but my living, I lived in a tent for a long time, but no steps. Sophie had no steps. She had arthritis, but I used to tell myself that that is this is my sole purpose in life is to make this little dog happy, and I was pretty happy with that role. But there towards the end, I started realizing that she's the one bringing me joy, not the other way around. She seemed to be perfectly content with anything, honestly.
Right.
So, but and it's not so much that I lament the loss of the role. I use her as a benchmark for kindness, compassion, and all that. Um, I could easily tell myself that I should treat everyone with the same love and compassion I treat her, which was difficult, but at least I had a benchmark.
Sure.
And then also, I mean, in her doggy little way, she was always the perfect lady or whatever. Uh, she so that was also a benchmark.
I
Um,
can see that.
but I don't know. After that, I kind of floundered a little bit. I don't do as well as I used to. I feel, but it's kind of for me to compare how I'm doing now to how I was doing yesterday is kind of a ridiculous proposition. I mean, I can glamorize how I was doing yesteryear, but it's just an idea.
Right.
So, but yeah, in fact, I had a pretty rough week. I guess everything worked out, but
Um, sorry about sorry about your week.
yeah, it's okay. There's a
I got a
lesson there.
I got a question from Lee. In a minute, he addressed to me. But you know, I had a blind dog, a little skipper key, called Toby. Might not have been a full-blooded skipper key. Might have had some wombat and maybe a little bit of the alien DNA, maybe some mountain goat. Um, and he went blind. And I wrote something for him. I don't remember it word for word, but it was along the lines of what I love about my blind dog Toby is that he fully expects me to have every single door open for him so he can walk right
Yeah,
through. And when I
yeah,
don't, he instantly forgives me for messing up and is ready to give me another try. That's the wonderful thing about dogs.
oh
They'll
yeah,
they'll give you another shot, um, even when you don't feel like you personally deserve it. Lee wants to know, and you can answer this as well. He says, "Yogi, this sounds silly. It actually doesn't, but I'll ask anyway. Do you get irritated, or do you try and look at everything as an individual circumstance?" Uh, and the answer to that is yes to both. I do get
yeah,
irritated. I do get upset. I experience everything everyone experiences, but I do get to look at everything as an opportunity, as a benchmark, as um, is this what I want to choose, and can I let it go? Sometimes I can. That's the whole basis of practicing A Course in Miracles. Is can I asking for a miracle? Can I see this through the lens of the Holy Spirit instead of the lens of the ego? The difference is when I see it through the lens of the ego, I'm irritated and I'm irritated at you and you can't talk me out of it until you do something to fix it because you caused my irritation. How dare you? When I look at it through the miracle given by the Holy Spirit, I'm just irritated. It's just a thing passing through.
I'm a, I'm around lesson 130, and you can't see two worlds. I think is
Right.
the lesson. And so, I mean, I can either choose love or I can choose fear or whatever. I mean, I can And however, with that said, I can know right and do wrong, or I can operate on good principles and still be stuck in bad thinking. And I work through that, knowing um, knowing I'm off when I do it.
Right.
I have a good example of that just last week. I also I know I talk a lot about um, response as opposed to react. Well, I reacted last night. Quick little story. I made a comment on somebody's video who is doing my naturally curly hair. And, this is a reference to the Peanuts cartoon, the little redheaded girl and her naturally curly hair.
Right.
And, and so I made a comment. I said, Charles Schultz is awesome, and so are you. Well, I get this response, don't be political here, blah, blah, you're being political. And I have a bad tendency to not see interaction quite as real as human reaction, however it is. People have feelings, whether you're typing or talking or whatever. But yeah, I quickly quipped back that it's a cartoon. And I think I also said, has anybody ever accused you of being overreactive or delusional? And then I let that sit on the internet for about, I don't know, an hour. And then I had to go back and say, I am sorry for that last comment. I am an old person who used to read newspapers. And, I shouldn't expect a 20-year-old to know that their trendy little video is actually based in a cartoon.
Right.
So, or the name of Charles Schultz. But, the world's so much different than when we were young, Yogi.
It is.
Because when you say Partridge Family, there's nobody our age that doesn't know who the Partridge Family is or
Come on, get
anything else
happy.
that is on television. There were only 3 channels or 4.
And we were the remote.
Mhm.
You wanted to change the channel? Get up and change the channel.
We're much healthier.
Yep.
At least we did that.
Here's 2 things that you remember. You remember putting aluminum foil on the antennas? Better reception.
Kind of.
You remember
Yeah.
putting a quarter on the arm of a record player?
Yes,
If
I
it
do.
if it
That was
skipped.
that was very early on. No, I mean, if I had a lot of money, Yogi, I'd buy you a nice stereo.
That
Everybody,
would be.
I would buy everyone here a nice stereo. Everybody should listen, through hi-fi.
Here's a question. I was going to say 5. We can do 5, but if you want, it could be 3. Um, 5 albums that need to be listened to on vinyl. Nowhere else. Before you answer that, Kat says, Adam, I wonder if that person just misunderstood. Not a lot of younger people know Charles Schultz.
I apologized, and yeah, that's what I finally came to the conclusion of in my misperception. And I mean, were they a little oversensitive because I brought up a name that might be political? Yeah, I think they were, but I mean, instead of attacking the person, I should feel sorry for that. I mean, if I am going to have any feeling at all, which really I shouldn't, I believe. I mean, there's a lot of fear. Do I need to go picking out that little particular instance? Because, ooh, my mind. Is it more important to be right or is it more important to be kind?
Such an
I,
important interaction. Such an important thing to consider.
yeah,
You know how many marriages would be saved?
a lot. Yeah. And if you got rid of money, then there would never be divorce.
There you go.
So,
Cece says, truth hurts, huh? Um, yeah, well, it depends what we consider the truth. I've
well,
never, I was very fortunate in my relationships where I didn't spend a lot of time insisting that I was right. I was always willing to let things go fairly easily. I do want to talk about, it's a little different subject. Let's go with three albums that you don't want to be listened to on vinyl.
I really love the Moody Blues, In Search of the Lost Chord. I wish I had a quadraphonic sound system and I had Dark Side of the Moon,
Oh,
or even Quadrophenia by The Who. But that's just because of the quadrophenia type thing.
right.
I've only heard it a couple of times. I actually had a receiver at one time that was quadraphonic, but I never could get the albums. So I gave it to a girlfriend, real sweet girl. Nice receiver. Holy crap! If I had that now. But anyway, now two other albums. I think Catching the Bull, Cat Stevens, the album I showed yesterday is a really good one. Emerson, Lake and Palmer, The Work.
Nice.
Yeah. So
I think a lot of progressive stuff was really meant to be listened to on vinyl. A lot of progressive music because it's so intricate, it's so layered that you might miss it otherwise.
well,
Um,
there's a big misperception about vinyl, and if you think that you can go buy a common record player and play an album and hear something that you wouldn't hear somewhere else, I don't think so. When CDs came out, people were like, "Isn't this awesome?" And I'm like, "It sounds flat and horrible." But then again, um, I had a decent system, but I had friends whose I had some wealthy. If you listen to an LP on a $200 something stylus through a very fine system, you hear more. And if you really want to hear more, go reel to reel. I mean, wow. It's you close your eyes, you think you're there with the orchestra. And that's
right.
another thing. I mean, if live versus Memorex, well, there's nothing like hearing woodwind from a woodwind. There's something that gets lost in translation to brass instruments, to woodwinds, to an actual cello or an organ. Holy crap. I mean, if you're at a concert with an organ, your bones feel it.
Well,
Mine do. I mean, it's a whole physical experience.
um, Pink Floyd's Animals on vinyl is incredible.
Oh, it would be, yeah, and it was. I
I,
no longer have that album, but yeah, it
Ze-
was.
Zeppelin 2, whole lot of love.
Yes,
Whole lot of love
heartbreaking.
has to, yeah, a whole lot of love has to be heard in stereo. Otherwise, you miss that the effect of when it goes back and forth.
Bop bop
Um,
bop bop bop
yeah,
bop bop bop. Da-da-da. Yes, yes, very good
and
stuff.
I'm gonna go with John Coltrane's "Love Supreme" on vinyl. He
Nice.
had he had a mathematical formula that he believed he received from a celestial sources um, to design "Love Supreme."
I'll have to
It's a
listen to it again with that in mind. I didn't know that. That's
it's a
awesome.
spiritual odyssey, taking us from it's just like the ox herder in Zen, taking us from the beginning stages of the ox all the way to awakening. Um, it is indeed love supreme. Absolutely love Coltrane.
I have a hard time making it through some Coltrane. Um, he lives in the land of dissonance for quite a while.
Right. Yeah.
He does.
He was one of the ones who invented it.
Well, yeah, that type of dissonance, yes. and it's very sustained. And when he finally gives you a touch of resolve, it's like, oh, thank you.
Right.
I knew you were going somewhere. But
And
yeah,
that's the amazing thing about jazz is you don't know where it's going until you get there.
yeah, a lot of especially older classical music. Yeah, you know, you know the resolve is coming quite a few measures before it actually happens. It's kind of predictable.
Sissy says residence greater than dissidence.
It takes both. It kind of reminds me of the Rosicrucian idea of Lucifer and Satan. Um, if you suffer luciferic tendencies, then you're shooting up heroin. Um, you're too woo woo. You're the type of person who tells somebody that nobody dies at a funeral. You know, why are
Right,
you
right.
sad? You know, I mean, you're off and I don't know what that was about. I'm spilling drink on myself. But yeah, I mean, you're off in La La Land. It's Luciferic, whereas satanic would be I'm greedy. I'm gonna hoard all this stuff for myself. I me, me, mine. Um, also, killing somebody without thought that would be in the satanic realm. And the Rosicrucian principle is there is a middle way, kind of like the middle way of was it Wu Wei? Wu Wei
Buddhism.
that had well Buddhism in general. Yeah, the middle
Yep.
way.
Yep.
So
Middle way was first put forth by Nagarjuna, the great Buddhist master, second only possibly to the Buddha himself. Um, and it is after my dad's death, I really dove into Nagarjuna's thought system, vibrations. It's so much corresponding with string theory and quantum physics. That out of this immense field of just pure consciousness, Buddha mind, um, something plucks an imaginary string and a universe comes into being. And in that space of loss, I felt that nothingness and that there was some kind of little plucking upon a string for Yogi to still exist, even if he might not want to. It was an amazing experience. I would never want to go through it again. That deep sense um, of mourning, and in that again that field of grief, there was just that vibration, just the possibility of a string that was going to bring me back. Um, Strange. Today, 4 years ago, today was my dad's funeral. I saw a Facebook memory. Um, I didn't have any pants to wear. I given all my
oh,
pants away. All I had was shorts. And I was like, guys, I don't know what to do. It's my dad's funeral, and I've just realized I have no pants to wear. And everyone said, your dad for the last 20 years only saw you wearing shorts. Um, he's not going to mind. So show up
you wore
at the
shorts?
funeral. So I was in my dress shorts, but shorts nonetheless.
Well, I hope my sons. Well, I hope they're in shorts or not at all. I just kind of want to disappear out in the woods and people go, "Hey, where did Scott go?" But anyway, I don't really want any mourning because I'm not going to die. It's just a transitory type thing.
I've made it clear for me the ways I want to go. I even talked to Kat about this earlier today. That today there was a possibility of actually death by beaver. And, I saw a meme on Facebook that said the possibility of being killed by a cow is slim, but it's never zero. Same with a beaver. The odds of being killed by a beaver are very, very, very slim, but it's not zero. And I like the thought of, a headline that one day, Adams comes across a headline on a newspaper that said, Columbia, Maryland man killed by a beaver. And Adam would be like, huh, I wonder if that was, I wonder if that was Yogi. And I bet you he went out pretty happy.
Nice.
Or
I want
eaten
to
by
be
a bear.
killed by a random piece of space junk.
You hear something and you and you look up. Smack.
Yeah, smack. You know. Plus, it would help people become aware of space junk.
If what?
You
Maybe
know, I
that's
mean, it's kind of
maybe that's
like light pollution. You say to someone there's light pollution, and they go, "What?"
right.
But there is light pollution.
Maybe that's what's plaguing modern society is our lack of awareness of space junk.
It might
It's
be.
it could be.
I mean, if we're going to get all material, I mean, that is the ethers. That's the ethereal realm. It's all polluted with way too many satellites and random nuts and bolts and stuff. It's actually become much more challenging, or not challenging, but dangerous to go to space because of that. It's not like we can predict all this stuff flying about our
Sure.
ethers.
That makes me think of the junk on Everest. Makes me sad. Is there anything that we touch that we as humans that we don't pollute?
I go hiking all the time and I see plastic bottles, and it's like, really? And that really disturbs me because I really despise the bottled water industry. Um, I know people, I buy bottled water sometimes, but that wasn't a thing. All you younger people, I mean, you know,
It's amazing to consider. When you and I growing up, we would never see a plastic bottle dumped anywhere.
mm-mm.
Not saying we wouldn't see some trash, but we definitely wouldn't see something that's going to be here 40 years from now.
A lot more aluminum cans, but they do degrade. And actually, if you look into garbology, what we think here forever is diapers dissolve faster than newspapers, oftentimes. Or McDonald's hamburgers. They found McDonald's hamburgers 15 years old next to newspapers that also didn't degrade. So they could date the hamburger.
Right.
And it's like, wow, it looks like it's brand new. So
Well,
maybe that's the problem with modern society is, you know. But again, if we look for the problem, we're just going to find a plethora of problems. So if there is no problem, then that's way better. Maybe it's just a bad dream coming to an end. With that said,
that's,
you ever watch Ren and Stimpy?
you know, no.
There was an
It's been
episode where
recommended.
what?
It's been recommended to me.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't recommend it or whatever, but I mean, I enjoyed it in another lifetime. But Stimpy was given the job of guarding the history erase button. And I would not be a good person to guard the history erase button. Sometimes when I see headlines and whatnot, I might be a little jumpy on the "oops, it's time to go" button. You know, so
Right. Um, Eldog says money is evil. Of course, the biblical quote is the love of money, not evil, but being the root of all evil.
yeah,
Money itself is just energy.
money's an abstract. It's energy. It's at first it's an abstract,
right.
and I mean, yeah. If you want uh, a good example, I mean, go buy fruit today and then go try to buy it 3 months from now. It's not a stable. It's just an abstract.
Yeah, and in truth, it doesn't even. There's no such thing as money. We made it up. It's a construct,
Yeah.
much like the ego.
Yeah.
Makes me think. Zero, reduce the ego, reduce the need for money. Because if you didn't have an ego, would you be less inclined to have someone suffer for not having food or shelter? Would you say, "This is mine, I worked for it. If you want some, go out and get a job"? Or would you say, "This is mine and I have it so that I can serve"? What can I do for you? How can I help you?
Well, I think the whole concept of mine is an illusion as well. Um, we're stewards. You know, I'm a steward of this ashtray. If you need to share this ashtray or take it with you, go right ahead. Because I'm just the I'm the steward. I'm responsible. A lot of people come out here to Tortoise's house. It's massive, really massive, and they go, "Oh, I want this." And I think there's no way that you could handle this. There's no way that you could maintain this property without going nuts. It's a huge responsibility. Anytime you own something, I mean, I know a rich man. I did the pool. I did the deck on the pool and all the rock stuff around it and all this. Well, who the guy he hired to do the pool built a cinder block pool after the year 2000. Which, by the way, if you're building a pool, there's something called shotcrete they've been using since the 70s. By all means, get a shotcrete pool. It's the normal way to build something. But anyway, so his pool's leaking. And he's got thousands of dollars of rock on top. It's a real pain. So he spent so much money getting the pool not to leak. By the way, the pool still leaks. I told him to get a pool liner, which what would I know? I'm just a stonemason. So his pool still leaks. But back in the day, people used to get liners and the problem solved. But one day I was working on the pool and he comes out and his leg's bleeding because he fell through his marble shower. He was in the marble shower and the floor broke loose. And he cut his leg on some marble. And so he has all this money. He's trying to buy nice things, but he's running into problems left and right. Whoever built the shower did not know how to build a pan. The guy has problems with foundational stuff on a earthly realm, you know.
Right.
I mean, you can have an ugly shower with a good shower pan, and it's not going to rot your joist. Anyway, but I think at that time it dawned on me like none other time that whatever you think you own is a responsibility, and when you are responsible for something, it does you well to understand it. It really does.
I
You
can see
can have
that.
all the money. Well, you can have all the money in the world. Say you're super rich and you want to collect cars, older cars. Well, unless you know anything about mechanics, and I'm not saying you have to be a prime mechanic, just a primo mechanic, but if you don't understand mechanics, you're going to be at the whim of a mechanic. It's your transversal thruster in your distributor that's causing you problem. I mean, they can make up stuff. I don't know. I mean, I could probably maybe get ripped off by a mechanic, but it would be a challenge for him or her because I do understand mechanics. I'm not I'm not out here honing new cylinders or or bores or whatever, but I do understand the principles.
Right.
But
Right.
if you have no clue, you're at the mercy of somebody who does. Wow, that seemed like a huge tangent.
That's okay. We're good for tangents.
Mhm.
I want to. Our friend Carl seemed to be going through some things, and I just wanted to say, Carl, sorry, whatever it is going through. And Carl had mentioned that he's jealous of me, and I want to assure him there's absolutely no reason in the world to be jealous of me. Zero.
I'm not jealous of you, Yogi. I'm really not. I just thought it would be funny to say that.
Man, I look at you with the beard I've been trying to grow and the hair that I no longer have. Man, I'm the one who should be jealous.
Well, it's not all it's cracked up to be, man. I'll be asleep and my chin hair I'll think I have a spider crawling on me or something. I'm like,
When my beard's longer, here's what I notice. When I'm doing my kettlebell workout and the kettlebells are here, the bells will hold to the beard. And as I jerk it upwards, my chin goes up and the hair gets pulled out. Or when it comes down really fast, it'll yank out a whole bunch.
No wonder
So
you
I,
shave your beard.
so I end up having like a bald spot. Like, right? People are like, man, is there anywhere on your head that you're not losing hair?
When I was younger, I almost had a unibrow. So I was plucking my hair, as a kid because I was very vain. Well, it quit growing back, and now I barely have any eyebrows. I'm kind of I missed the day I had a unibrow. At least they were,
Hey, there's worse ways of having a unibrow. What if you just had one, like right on the side?
yeah, yeah.
Hey, I
Um,
do want to put out, Carl, if you ever want to talk, just let me know. If you have issues with me, my friend, you know that I am always there to talk about anything, to reassure you, to help you in any way that I can.
I can't imagine anybody being jealous of me, so I'm glad that didn't come up. But if they were, I would be like, man, you can't search for solutions outside of yourself. If I'm jealous of you, what that's saying is I'm not enough.
It's true.
And we're told as children we're not enough. And we got to get over this, man. We are enough. You know, that's the problem I have with Christianity, and I call it laziness. And I don't have a problem with Christians. I have a problem with the idea that somebody's going to save me, that it's going to be so easy that all I have to do is call on the name of Jesus and I'll be saved. That's lazy. And it's actually written in the Bible that people are so attached to. Many will come to me and say, Lord, Lord, did I not do this? And did I not cast out demons in your name? Did I not, and not only are they calling on the name, but these people actually did things and they still fall short, which,
Right.
but I don't want to sound like, first of all, that all won't be saved because I can read that in the Bible too. Is it not God's will that all shall be saved? So if it's God's will that all should be saved, who am I to say otherwise?
What I always love about the Course is it puts the resurrection, it puts being saved, it puts waking up in heaven directly on us. And at the same time, the only way that I can awaken is through other people. I can't retreat to a mountaintop and meditate my way to enlightenment. That I awaken through the process of forgiving the illusion that you're separate from me. And two things. Christian B says, ask him a 4 stock of 1 liter petrol can go 200 kilometers.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
Is this a math problem? I was good at math in another lifetime. They tried to put me on a submarine in the Navy, and I said, no more math for me, man.
Wow. And
No.
Sissy says, I am jealous of you, Adam. You. Because
Okay.
your feathers are cooler than mine.
Oh, well, I'll send you some feathers. I'm definitely not mailing you a eagle feather, but yeah, I'll send you some feathers.
Miss Pippa says Adam's onto something. I'm glad that she put the 2 instead of saying Adam's on something.
Not today, friends. But don't put it past me. I like to keep my options open.
He says, quite like your attitude and humor, Adam, to be honest.
Well, thank you, Lee.
And Christian B says, no math, you said you're a mechanic, which actually you didn't say you were a mechanic.
Well, I mean, yes and no. I'll work on my stuff. You don't want me to work on your stuff.
You're mechanical. I think that would be the difference, right? Mechanical is different than being a mechanic.
It is. It is. And I mean, I'll tell you this. I mean, if you go into some oil change place and some kid tells you that they can fix your car, be very aware. Or a tire shop or whatever. No. I know a guy that went to a tire shop with his car and they replaced every sensor on the car and didn't fix it. Well, every sensor on a car runs up to a bill of about $800-900.
Wow.
And anybody can just start replacing things. You really air, spark, fuel. I could probably fix most anything on a car prior to 1970.
Man,
Electronic ignition complicates things, but then wow, today, yeah, I'm not a computer geek.
I worked at mobile gas station, one of my first jobs, and
cool.
basically back in the day when you would pump gas for someone.
Yeah.
And they would say, "Can you check my oil?" And I would open it up when I checked the oil or I checked the transmission fluid. I'm not mechanical in the least, but I knew how to check oil. And nowadays, if I open up a car hood, I don't know where to check the oil. I don't know where anything is whatsoever.
Well, they have a nice plastic shroud that hides it immediately. So yeah, and beware of modern stuff. Yeah, and then there's the lovely push button starter, which is you have to have the little clicker, and things have gotten so complicated with vehicles. They really don't want people to work on their own stuff. And that complaint goes back to when they started electronic ignitions. I don't know if you remember points in condensers. You're old enough, you should remember points in condensers, but
no.
Okay. Well,
it's mechanical, right?
It is.
Which is why I have no clue.
If you had like a 1966 something or other, up until about the 70s, most things probably still have points in condensers. And it's a thing. You just replace them. But whatever. I sure don't want to talk about mechanics.
Christian says, well, you got one more thing to talk about then. Tell me, E20 ethanol is good or bad?
I don't know good or bad. However, I find it totally moronic, asinine, ridiculous that biodiesel emits has very little emission. Biodiesel burns way cleaner than actual diesel. Diesel is garbage fuel. It's not as explosive as gasoline. It's like the crude of the crude.
So why do we have it?
Well, why don't we pave our roads with plastic? That is the best use of recycled plastic that we could do, is pave roads with it. All the weird blue and black plastics, doesn't matter. Put it on a road. But we don't do that. Why are so many diesel trucks running down the road, polluting our planet? Money. Why is the world covered with lead besides Standard Oil? Money.
Why don't we build houses and buildings out of hemp?
Or bamboo. Yes.
We could.
Yeah, why am I not wearing a hemp shirt? It's way better for the soil than cotton.
Right.
Hemp actually is good for the soil.
Yeah, Sniper's the one who told me that. Like years ago, we had a conversation. 2 years ago, maybe, about that. Hemp Creek. The amazing stuff we can do with hemp. And we used to. Some of the earlier books were printed on hemp, and the quality still holds up very well now.
Why is 30-something% of our power coming from coal burning? We live in 2025. Do we still need to burn coal? Really? But we do.
Right. And look at the results.
Back to
landscape.
Was it L Dog who said money is the
Yeah.
root? Well, love of money is the root of all evil. And love of money is why we still put asphalt shingles on houses as opposed to metal, which lasts longer and is whatever. If we wanted to, we could recycle metal roofs. If we really wanted to be highly conscientious um, stewards of this planet. But no, we want to turn a profit. So
And the amazing thing is, we don't even particularly care what we're going to leave behind for the next generation. What is the Native American expression of uh, every decision you make? Entertain the thought of how it's going to affect people 4 generations from now. We
yeah,
don't even think about the next 5 years.
I try. I try to
Well,
think about it, but it can be very depressing
right.
when I have to buy bottled water or when I have to, I don't beat myself up over it, but I am pretty conscious of about the amount of garbage I produce. And if I buy something, I want to have it for a lifetime. I don't want to, you know, think of all the cheap furniture that ends up in landfills.
True. Yeah. Sad. Because things could change instantly. You know what we need as a leader? We need a Buckminster Fuller to step up. We need a Bucky to step up and lead the way.
Maybe a mean Bucky. Bucky was
He,
too nice, man.
I wonder if
The moment some, money hungry, mountain stripping coal monger, Bucky would be like, well, you can have a little bit of coal. I'm a nice guy. I
but I
think.
wonder if I wonder if he would draw the line for the sake of the planet and for the sake of children.
I hope he would.
Me too. I think we're going to have I'm not going to get political, but I will say that I think we will eventually have a swing back to a conscientious uh, leaders. I'd love to see a leader step right out of the pages of the Tao Te Ching.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't even know because they say in the Tao, a true leader, you don't even know you're being led.
Yes.
We think we're making all these decisions.
The one under that is the leader they like.
Right.
But yeah, there's a tier there. And the top one, nobody even knows he's, he, her, whatever is there. Yeah. We did this on our own, is what they say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's right out of the Tao Te Ching is we did this. And what a great feeling that look what I built. Look at the beautiful planet that I built. Look at you remember the Cat Stevens song, Where Do the Children Play?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And, very powerful. You can build jumbo jets, jumbo planes, sky high.
On a cosmic train. Yeah.
And then that ending line. But where do the children play?
Yeah.
Now we're
Especially
assuming
when we're switching on summer. We
right.
switch on summer with the slot machine, or we think we can by chemtrailing and all kinds of crazy, it started out as cloud seeding and now it's just bizarre chemtrailing. But
Sissy says Bucky Fuller discovered the Bucky balls in Shungite. Did I say that right?
I'm not sure.
Did I say that right, Sissy? What was the name of his homes? The
Bucky balls is what I always heard them referred to as, Bucky balls.
The design, the domes, the
tetrahedron.
Right.
That's. I wouldn't say Buckminster Fuller discovered. I mean, I've heard that, but I wouldn't say that. Sacred geometry has always been here.
Now you're talking Cypress language.
Well, I mean, it has. I mean, it's. Did you know that the shell of Fat Man, the first atomic weapon? I don't know about now, but it was in the shape of a dodecahedron. And then if you take the man words, I'm horrible. The table, the chemical thing, the table of atoms or whatever. What's that called? Jesus. You learn it in chemistry. The table, the periodic table.
Periodic table.
The periodic table. Okay. Now nobody's gonna believe me because I'm an idiot. But if you take sacred geometry numerically and compare it to the periodic table, that weird stuff happens at certain places. Like at the first dodecahedron is palladium and platinum, which are very purifying elements. So that's the first palladium and platinum, and then it begins to build again. So if you take two dodecahedrons together, it's the entire table of uh, whatever I just said. But then when you start to break them apart, you get uranium. Actually, when because you're showing multiple faces. If you take two dodecahedrons, it's minus two faces. You start peeling them apart, you get your rare stuff, and then the moment they split is uranium. And I mean, I'm not good with, like I said, I gave up on math, but I kind of can understand it. But yeah, the moment we start really refining uranium or plutonium and stuff, we've gone off the chains, man. We've split the dodecahedron. Dangerous territories here.
Interesting.
I wish Buckminster Fuller was here because he could present that so much more intelligently.
My favorite thing that he ever said was "Dare to be naive," because it's only the person that's called naive that ever breaks out of the present paradigm shift.
Well, Einstein said a very similar thing.
Yeah.
What was it? The more I know I don't know.
Right. And you can't solve a problem with the same mindset that created it.
No.
Which could be right out of the pages of Course in Miracles. Keep choosing the ego, and you always have ego problems.
Yeah.
If you want to solve your problems, the ego problems will take the shape all kinds of different ways. It'll take the shape of diesel. It'll take the shape of chemtrails. It'll take the shape of
antidepressants.
Yep, all of that. But it never goes to the cause. It's just rearranging the chairs on the deck of the Titanic. If you went to a different world, if you want a different life, then you need to shift the thought which created this present world. And this present world, again, has been going on since the dawn of regular time. It's just gotten more sophisticated in its weaponry. But the problem of greed has always been ever present. The problem of exploiting natural resources, at least we could say in the Western world, been with us for thousands of years. So if we ever want to get out of it, we need to switch teachers.
I had little bird friends.
I saw.
But yeah, it's a. I wish Odom was here today. You had so many just really intense, wise guests come up. We were talking about high vibrational food, and really, I'm not talking problem solving here. I'm talking more of living in harmony and in unity and stuff. I've heard it said we get the politics we deserve.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, question consumption. Okay, if we as a people wanted to really change the world, since we have been labeled consumers, in fact, economic stimulus checks, what are they telling you? That you're a consumer. You need to stimulate the economy. This is my job, according to the world. Is I'm an economic stimulator. I am a consumer. Okay, I'm not a consumer. However, I do consume things.
Right.
But in a totally balanced system, we're not really consuming so much as we're part of a system. You know, I eat, I poop. That poop creates food that others, I mean, you know, I don't mean to be gross or anything.
Sorry.
Everybody poops. But you know, Odom's out there growing a large portion of his own food
He
on a
is.
small piece of property, which is, you know, that's amazing. However, if we want to change, one of the easiest ways to do that is quit buying stuff. Quit buying from companies that are destroying the planet.
I agree.
Find
I
ways to get around it.
want to touch on one more thing quick, and then I got to wrap it up for the afternoon. Um, Another expression that I dislike is economic growth, because how is the economy actually growing when we still have homeless people, when we still have children going to bed hungry? When is that really growth? Why shouldn't growth expand in all directions? That uh, when they say economic growth, are they talking about helping people, or are they talking about those who have having more?
Well, economic growth is like, it's like chemical balance. I mean, you know, people are told they're chemically imbalanced, and here, take this pill. Well, to me, testing someone's brain chemistry is kind of like balancing a tire while the car's rolling down the road. I mean, I'm not saying it's totally impossible, but I don't think we have the technology to test someone's brain chemistry accurately. There are markers. There are markers that show up in the blood that would indicate certain things. But the brain chemistry is constantly changing. I mean, I don't know if anybody out there is familiar with phosphate bonding, and how when we eat it turns into a diphosphate and then a triphosphate. And when you have triphosphates, you have neural firing. But not only that, I mean, this is very complicated stuff. There's all kinds of chemicals running here and there and burning up and showing up, and you know, it's just a dang word. And
Right.
economic growth is just, you know, one marker of something, and all it indicates is somebody else is getting rich. Usually, that's what it means.
Here's how I'll sum up my philosophy of the economy, politics, of any other modern issue that we're faced with. Let's help other people. Let's help each other. Uh, let's be kind. There it is.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
yeah. If you want to turn things around, kindness is probably the first step.
agreed. Agreed. And again, could be right out of the pages of Course of Miracles. It could be right out of the pages of the Tao Te Ching, right out of the pages of the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, the Bible. I mean, Jesus employs us: treat others as we would be treated ourselves. He summed it up when he was asked, "What are the greatest commandments?" Love the one God above all others, or something similar, and treat others as you would wish to be treated. Hey, you get an awful lot of compliments here, Lee. Or I'm sorry, Adam, because Lee said, "Adam, I've really enjoyed this. Thank you."
Oh, thank you, Lee.
Sissy says this is great fun. Thank you, Yogi, Adam, and friends.
Oh, you sissy. Um, you know, you got great people here. It kind of blows my mind. Um, Honestly, if it weren't for the kindness on this channel, I think I would have ditched um, internet relations a while back.
Well, thank you for
You know,
that.
I
Hey,
get comments like I'm a, you know, I'm a racist or something because I mentioned Charles Schultz, or I don't know.
what if we get the YouTube friends that we deserve, just like politics, government?
I hope so.
I hope so too.
I
Um,
hope so.
you know what? It hasn't been easy practicing unconditional kindness and forgiveness on YouTube.
I imagine.
Um, I find it an easy practice in and of itself, but amazingly, kindness to everyone can rub some people wrong. You know, when we say no exceptions, um, then there's always a wanting for an exception. I didn't mean this person. I didn't mean this situation. I didn't mean, uh, which is why I find it's never helpful to apply a label to a person. It's never
No,
helpful to um, think of someone as, less than what they truly are.
I've been debating whether bringing up an issue I had, and I could keep it short if that would be okay, Yogi.
Sure.
Just last week, um, in labor, I have two friends that live with each other, and I love them both very dearly. One you could call an alcoholic. One you could call a liar. They have a problem with compulsive lying, and another drinks sometimes heavily, sometimes not. But so last week, my friend shows up out of nowhere because I'm just going to use these labels to. Okay, so the liar um, asked the alcoholic to leave, and I think they meant, temporarily or whatever. But the anger body shows up, right? In a relationship, if we're familiar with anger body.
Right.
And I think everyone's experienced it, I'd imagine. But this is when we say things we don't mean. It's almost like a foreign entity that takes over and it just wants to get you in trouble. You're angry. Arr! You know, so, um, you know, I don't get involved. I don't want to get in the mix of two people. If two people are having animosity towards each other, why would I want to jump in the middle of it? However, I mean, I do have my opinions that personally I wouldn't want to live with either one of them. I like living alone. And I know it's challenging. But if I come at a person, this person told me I speak the truth. And I kept trying to convince them that you speak the truth in anger. You speak the truth as a as an insult. And there's a huge difference in being true and being true and kind. And eventually this came around and they seemed to reconcile. I don't know if I had any process in this. However, my mind was trying to take sides in the issue. And not to mention, I feel like I was trying to be asked to choose a side, which is very hard to remain objective when you have characters asking you to choose a side. And and when you see the ridiculousness, supposedly, you're looking at this situation and you say that's ridiculous or this is ridiculous, you know. So did I diffuse the situation? I have no idea. Was I at my best throughout the whole affair? Not really. I mean, you mentioned, hey, I might pop in and say I'm depressed. Yeah, I would be like, hey, buddy, is anything wrong? Let me make you some coffee. I make great coffee. Um, but if you showed up all pissed off and you remain for 3 days and you're still pissed off, it'll wear me down, man. I might get a little snarky. Um, but it's all good now. And but again, uh, well, she's a liar. La, 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 and it's like, um, first of all, if somebody tells me a lie, what is it to me? And you might say that it means something. Well, sometimes they do. If I give you money and say, please put this in the bank, Hopefully, I can trust you to put that in the bank. This actually matters to make sure I make my bills. But if you tell me you caught a fish as big as a boat, I don't care. It means nothing to me. So, and again, you know, do I support myself? Am I self-sufficient? Do I have all my X's crossed or whatever? If I start outsourcing my what means something to me to other people, I put myself in a precarious position. And and would I outsource anything to someone who has a propensity to lying? I just wouldn't. I mean, it's not so much a judgment call as it's just an operating system, you know.
Right.
And and what I believe everything everybody said after they had, half a case of beer. No, I'm not going to put a lot of weight into something somebody says after they had a lot to drink. I'm just not. But the whole dang thing boils down to, can we be kind? Can we appreciate each other? And can we forgive? Can I forgive a liar? Well, sure I can. I guarantee you I do things that I have no idea that I'm doing that are annoying as crap to somebody else out there. I cannot see my own stuff well.
Right. Kindness and forgiveness, entire basis of my channel, everything I do. I was talking to Kat about that earlier. When I decided to do something with my channel, I had to, again, go back to Buckminster Fuller, dare to be naive. Could I actually earn an income to sustain myself? Now, granted, I don't need a ton because I have a house that's paid for. I don't have a whole lot of outstanding bills. I got some credit card stuff I'm taking care of. So I don't need a ton. But could I have a sustainable income to pay for my daily needs and through YouTube based upon kindness and forgiveness? And of course, the answer was, of course not. Who's going to tune in to watch some old bald guy? Hey, Donnie
Are
Stuff.
you making a living at it, Yogi? Are you paying your bills?
Right now, but it's because I had inherited a small sum of money that is dwindling.
So you're operating in the red?
What's that?
You're operating in the red currently.
Not yet.
Okay. Well, I think kindness and forgiveness are probably some of the most rare commodities on the planet. And I think you should be able to sustain yourself through kindness and forgiveness.
Those are the words that I needed.
With that
Those are the words
said,
that I needed.
go ahead.
Those are the words that I needed, Adam.
Okay.
Thank you.
I mean, they're very rare commodities, especially now. Everybody's so freaked out because, Three Eye Atlas and our crazy politics and wars and famine and who knows what. But never been a more. But with that said, if there are people out there who want to make money on YouTube, what are you offering? If you want to make money, figure out what to offer.
This is it. For me, I have no other talent except showing up and being kind. That's it. Hey, I want to tell you something. Our friend, new friend, the Milkman's kid, came in and said, Keith Richards. And then he said a little bit later, sorry about the Keith Richards joke. I'm just kind of a joker, but a lovable one. And I told him, you would be absolutely, probably a little bit honored to be compared to Keith Richards.
The Stones were way more popular with hippies than the Beatles, by the way. I mean, every time I've interviewed anybody who was either dodging the war or protesting it or even went to it, the Rolling Stones were the thing, man. The Beatles were okay, but the Rolling Stones, they kind of.
I think I'll even go on record. I think maybe the greatest rock song of all time might be Give Me Shelter.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
just such an
Sympathy for the Devil really touched a lot of people.
it
And
did.
by the way, Mick Jagger's not a devil. And don't go trying to stab George Harrison. That's not cool.
I agree. I agree.
For everybody out there, George Harrison got stabbed 17 times, I think, and the whole time he was saying Krishna, Krishna. So the story goes.
That's what I heard. His wife actually fought the robber off.
And also got defensive wounds.
Did she?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. It was a nightmare.
Milkman says, I love the Stones' music much more than the Beatles. Blue Moon says, you've said this before, Tiger King. We will disagree on this one. The Beatles are overrated. The Beatles changed, like them or dislike them, the Beatles changed music as we know it. The Stones never would have achieved their greatness without the Beatles.
It's, pick your poison or pick your herbal tea or whatever. I mean, there's a certain level that musicians acquire that is somebody asked Steve, if people know who Steve Vai is. I don't mean you people. if y'all know who Steve Vai is, great guitarist, but somebody asked him if he could play Hendrix, and he said, of course I can play Hendrix, but I didn't write it. I didn't create it. The creative process is the Beatles created amazing music, and so did the Rolling Stones.
Agreed.
Like Jimmy Page is the greatest guitar player ever. Well, Yogi, I sent you a link. I don't know if you got a chance to listen to it yet.
Not yet.
But it's from MTSU, and it's three guys: a guitar, a bass, and a drummer. But it's all jazz, guitar, whatnot. But if you listen to this guitar and then tell me Jimmy Page is the greatest, no, I mean, you get a guy who's got a doctorate in jazz guitar.
Right.
He can play anything and he can make up anything. It's
Jimmy Page was the greatest guitar player Led Zeppelin ever had. I'll go on record saying that. You know what I love
about the other bands and filled in too. He's a good guitar player.
He is. And the Yardbirds. Love the Yardbirds. Yardbirds produced Jeff Beck, Jimmy Page, and Eric Clapton. Amazing. What a training ground for great guitar players.
Yeah.
But here's what I love about the Beatles and the Stones together, that no one ever says Ringo Starr was the greatest drummer, George Harrison was the greatest guitar player, or Charlie Watts was the greatest drummer. But they were so perfect in what they did. They kept the time, they kept the beat, they made the music. They weren't supposed to be doing a 10-minute drum solo or, ripping it on a guitar. That wasn't their thing. They were holding everything together. Now you can make a case that Lennon and McCartney were the greatest songwriting duo ever, or that Jagger and Richards were the greatest song. Both arguments can be made for that. But as a band, they did what bands are supposed to do. They came together and they performed. Not one thing having to stand out more than another. Conversely, what I love about Zeppelin, guitar solos from Page, Bonham doing drum solos, room for both.
Well, I mean, somebody asked me one time which was my favorite dog. I've had a lot of dogs. And I said the one that's alive is usually my favorite dog. The one I have now. What's my favorite song? The one I'm listening to now. Why does something have to be the best?
True.
Yeah, that's a silly. I mean, God, there's a whole, there's a sea of talent. I mean, find it, enjoy it, move on.
Right. I'm going to cruise through a few comments, and then I got to wrap it up. Miss Pippa said opinions are overrated, which is true. Sissy said that laugh, love it, referring to your laugh, my friend. Miss Pippa said Adam and Yogi are the greatest. Thank you so much for that. Milkman's Kid says riffs and melodies. Yes. Sissy gives a big shout out to the Yardbirds. Absolutely. Thumbs up from Better Self Daily. Sniper. Adam, you know of William Campbell or Billy Shears? Do you know that offhand? Who
No.
supposedly replaced Paul McCartney after a fatal car crash in '66.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of that, but okay. I mean, it's all the same to me, I guess. I mean, that was the turning point. I think that was the year they did Magical Mystery Tour.
Right. For
So,
me, the turning point is when they smoked pot with Bob Dylan, and you had Rubber Soul, and then you had what was the follow up to Rubber Soul?
Revolver.
Revolver was when they first dropped acid. What a change! What a change! They went from "I Want to Hold Your Hand" to Norwegian Woods in a year. I mean, that level of sophistication, just absolutely amazing.
Well, they went from a pop band to a band.
To artists, they went from Milkman says, other than Cream, Jeff Beck was in that band, I think. Clapton was in Cream. He didn't know anything by Jeff Beck. Any recommendations from Jeff Beck?
He's got a good solo album. I forget what it is.
He was start with the Yardbirds. He also did the soundtrack for all the Death Wish movies. Charles Bronson.
Oh, that's cool. Any Danny Elfman fans out there from Oingo Boingo?
Yeah, he also writes for The Simpsons, doesn't he?
I think he did The Simpsons. I think he did. But yeah, I mean, he's the soundtrack king. Actually, he's doing a classical composition now. Quite a composer.
Anna says, thank you so much, Adam and Yogi. You're welcome, my friend.
Thank you.
Praveen says, awesome, loving this combination of Yogi time and Adam time. Me too.
Hey.
Milkman's Kid says, I really do like John Lennon's work quite a lot. Me too. Although, Paul McCartney has once again become my favorite Beatle. He started out as my favorite Beatle, and then in my teenage rebellious years, it was John Lennon, and then in my burgeoning spirituality, of course, it was George Harrison. And now, poor Ringo, who's never my favorite, although I do love him. And now I'm back to Paul McCartney as being the ultimate Beatle, because he's just, I've gone back to this.
What's your favorite McCartney solo? What's your favorite McCartney song? Solo.
Let It Roll.
Nice.
Yeah. I love going.
Light.
What is it?
Are you familiar with Monkberry Moon Delight?
No, but I'm going to look that up after this.
It's on the album Ram.
Oh, okay.
That was one of my first. That's a great.
I go back to listen to the Beatles now to listen to McCartney's bass playing and Ringo's drumming, because listen to the drumming in Rain, and Ringo says, I don't know. He said, I was there and I had the drumsticks in my hand, but I don't know who was drumming because that ain't me.
You know, there's a story, I think. I mean, Rain, they filmed it on a rooftop. I think it was the last time the Beatles got together. Am I correct in that?
Nope, that was Get Back.
That's right. Never mind. However, Ringo's drumming, first of all, it never annoyed me, so he's a good drummer. There's plenty of drummers. It's like they'll hit something. I'm like, that's just not right. And we mentioned Rush before, and the whole dang thing doesn't sound right to me, actually. But I don't like the that was so prevalent in the 80s. Everybody singing with their marbles in a vice. But anyway, but You know that last time the Beatles got together and sang "Get Back"? Was it "Get Back"? Anyway, um, every Beatle had to go to Ringo Starr's house personally and beg him to do one last gig. Ringo Starr was fed up with all the bickering and all the whatever. Ringo Starr was one of the most lovely people ever on the planet. And I don't mean to diss any of the other Beatles, but to me, George was supposed to be the enlightened one. But really, if you listen to Ringo Starr interviews and stuff like that, um, Ringo was always spot on to me.
But his, if you talk to drummers who've been doing it for a while, they say all kinds of wonderful things about Ringo, because he did what a drummer was supposed to do. Didn't draw undue attention upon himself. But if you get a chance after this live stream, listen to Rain and listen just for the drum track. And
Yeah, I will. But yeah, it's amazing. But I have no doubt that Ringo is a great drummer. I really don't.
same
And
with Charlie Watts too.
who does Charlie play for?
Stones.
Oh, okay.
And he was a jazz drummer.
Yeah.
Originally.
Jimi Hendrix started out wanting to be a jazz guitarist, but then he just became Jimi Hendrix. In fact, if you for search and look for early Jimi Hendrix, you'll come across an album called Jimmy.
Oh wow!
It sounds way different.
Nee says isolated drums only. Yogi gives a perspective, something we can miss, ears can't hear. I agree, but I don't even think in Rain you need to listen to an isolated track. Just listen to the whole song, but hone in on the drumming, and you realize what an incredible drummer he really was. Milkman says, go ahead.
The difficulty in playing something is not the total bar of success. This came from nothing. It came from sacred geometry, is what it emerged, like you were talking about Coltrane. Or I suggest everybody listen to In Search of the Lost Chord, because it talks about spiritual matters, but it is also a musical approach to unity and perfection. But this emerges from this field we live in that we think is constant. A modern physicist would say this cup is not always here. It's here enough to seem here, but it's not always here. It's in and out of the field. It's such a rate that it seems better.
So what a great Zen master.
Who?
Or a yogi.
Yeah,
Same
I mean,
let's see. All right, I think we're caught up in the comments. I'm going to have to wrap up. I'm going to make a little something to eat, and then I'm going to do this same exact thing in about 2.5 hours.
Amazing and lovely.
You know what? Some of my longest live streams, normally I'm done in about an hour, sometimes an hour and a half. We're honing in on 2 hours. Some of my longest live streams are with you. Wow. And it flies by like that.
I had no idea.
It's always informative, always joyful, and just riffing it,
Yeah. Well, I feel like that we could just yammer on forever, Yogi, and enjoy it.
I agree. The only other one that recently has gone into song, me and James Plath, and you remind me an awful lot of James. He's a great yet unassuming mystic.
James is the one in Guatemala, maybe?
Yep.
Okay,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I remembered what exact country he lived in. I want to go see him. Yeah, it sounds like a great place.
And he's in a little spiritual community. Amazing.
Yeah, super happy dude.
Thank you, Milkman.
And I mean, have you ever seen oh God, what's the name of the movie? Ringo Starr movie with Peter
Caveman.
Sellers. What? Not
Caveman.
Caveman, but oh God. Um God, I can't think of the band all of a sudden. Badfinger. Remember
Oh,
Badfinger?
yeah.
Um,
No
now
matter
there
what you
must
want.
what?
No matter what you want.
The Magic Christian Ship. They did the soundtrack for the Magic Christian Ship or the Christian Ship or something like that. It is a hilarious movie with
I'll look for that.
and
Badfinger had a very tragic ending, sadly.
what happened?
Everyone died. Broke, poor, drug addicted, and not long after their success. They were screwed out of royalties. They were always in and out of court. They were prevented from making music. I think there was just all kinds of tragedy. But great band.
The tragedy to me with Badfinger was if you listen to Badfinger's, I think it's their first album, which is uh, Magic Christian Music or something. I have the album, but anyway, printed out on an Apple, right? Um, Evidently, Ringo Starr loved it. Their first album is awesome. It really is. He wrote a Crimson. Anyway, what's Badfinger's most popular song? Like Love Hurts or
I thought it
what?
was no matter what you want. I will always be with you.
Oh, that's a good one. Well, that's on their first album. I think maybe it's on their second. I noticed music took a turn towards a self-centered, less spiritual tone about suffering. Um,
They were going through it, for sure.
yeah, yeah. I don't listen to Badfinger after their first album. I'm just certain songs don't resonate with me.
Right.
I think it's Love Hurts, or it's another really sad song, but whatever. They got kind of sad for my taste.
Lady Blue?
No,
No.
no, it's their second album. They had a super pop song they played on the radio all the time, you remember the song "Love Hurts"?
Yeah, Nazareth.
Okay, I mean it's right along the same lines of
Right.
I don't have time to listen to that.
Emmylou Harris and shoot, I can't remember his name. They did a great version, countryish version of "Love Hurts." Really great song.
There was a in high school. I I, I long I miss the days that local bands would just eat it up. We had bars that would play local bands, and it was fun.
Right.
But there was a local band who wrote a song, "Stairway to Freebird." It was awesome. They were
I
good.
bet. All right, Adam. I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank you.
We've enjoyed all. It's
I enjoyed.
so let your light shine.
Exactly. Very much enjoyed our conversation.
Me too, man.
And we'll do it again next Sunday.
Sounds good.
100%. Take care. I'll see you later.
All right,
Listen to Rain.
I will. I'll jam on it right